So is it just me, or are they trying to make us think that like everyone is A? Hey guys, and welcome back to Kelly TV. So we're finally in the courtroom for this episode, and Allie starts out preparing for the trial. Things are just not looking good for her. Oh, and Hannah is in jail, and she still isn't sure who is framing her. Wasn't it kind of weird how like her mom came and Ted came, but like not her dad? Where are you, Hannah's dad? I thought that was kind of strange. So Spencer figures out that that barjack number from the pizza receipt that Emily found is actually the same one that was showing up in those personal ads like a few episodes back. And Mrs. H, like, totes does not want anyone to go to the trial, but, like, no one listens to her, so whatevs. Super Sleuth Caleb cannot crack that barjack code, sadly, but Spencer figures out if you type in the numbers, it actually spells a message, which is, do you miss me, love Holly, and Holly Varjack was one of Allie's, like, fake identities, so what does that mean? So Andrew is looking so sketchy in this episode. It's like on another level, and you know what I've said before about anyone they try to make look super sketch in this show, that means they're not a bad person. So I'm just gonna go with that. So he really makes it clear that he did not like Mona like at all, and he wishes that everyone would just kind of forget about her. So that was kind of over the top there, Andrew, don't you think? Allie reaches out to Emily because she probably is closer to her than anyone, obvi, and she lets her know that she is worried about the trial, which is just to be expected. So we go to the trial. Day one, the prosecution is like pretty much slamming Allie, saying that she made up that kidnapping story, which we totally know she did. Now Allie admits to Hannah that she had been texting A, but the problem was she thought she was texting Mona, and she still doesn't really understand because those texts did stop after Mona was supposedly killed. Caleb, being the super boyfriend he is, promises to get Hannah out of the slammer. She tells him, you know, he just needs to leave Rosewood and get away from it all. Well, he tried that once before, and there was actually more drama involved. So that Varjack number calls Arya, and she's like, what the heck, because I've never tried to call that number. Like, how does this person have my number? Varjack wasn't on the phone, but a super, super old school French song by this singer named Edith Piaf was. She wasn't really on the phone, but she was singing a song, which we find out later is music that Mona used to like. So I start to think here, I'm putting all these pieces together. I'm like, is Mona still alive, and is Mona Varjack? That's kind of what I'm thinking at this point. So my boyfriend Jason looking super hot on the stand. I'm just loving all the eye candy, Jason. And he's saying that Allie did not kill Mona, which is cool because we know that she didn't. But because of that, A has totally been talking to the prosecutor because the prosecutor exposes the entire Jashley affair. We all knew that was going to come out, but now like the whole freaking town knows about it. So the prosecutor thinks that's basically why Jason changed his story, because he's trying to protect, you know, Hannah and her mom. So things should be awkward for Pastor Ted because now he knows like more of the truth. But the weird thing is that he's cool with it, and he's just like, you know, everyone has a clean slate. And when he said that, I was like, oh my gosh, because that is like the same text that A sent. So I've kind of joked about this before. Like, he is the only person like I've never suspected, but now I'm starting to suspect him. And you know what they say about like the person who's least likely is the person who's doing all this stuff? So I'm not thinking he's A, but something's just not right here. I mean, he's telling Ashley that he's cool with everything, and he's, you know, he should have bailed. I don't know what's going on here. So the girls go to Mona's house to talk to her mom. Her mom's actually not there, but before they can leave, they hear that music again, that creepy French song, and so they decide they should go inside. But guess what? A has already beat them to it. A has totally destroyed Mona's room looking for something, and A leaves a note saying that they found what they were looking for and that the girls are too late. But then Arya's like, no, hold on just a second, because maybe A is just making this up. So Spencer actually finds something very important. She finds a clue, which doesn't really make much sense to me when I see it. It's inside of one of Mona's mirrors, like on her vanity, and it was kind of like a haiku, not a haiku, it was kind of like a weird poem or something. And I've done a lot of reading about this on like blogs and on Twitter, and people seem to think that that note translates to the name Charles De Laurentiis. And now we have to figure out, like, who is Charles De Laurentiis? Is he, like, a twin of someone? Is he just a brother of Allie and Jason's? Like, who is this mystery person? And, like, why was Andrew lurking outside of Mona's house when the girls were in there? Once again, he's such a super sketchball that it's, I'm sure, a red herring. Oh, yeah, and look, there's that screwdriver again from... We've seen that before. Hold on, we're going to see it again. So Andrew tries to make things right with Aria. He's all like, oh, come on now, I didn't really hate Mona. I just, like, said that I hope that no one ever remembers her. Yeah, whatever, Andrew. I think you did hate her, and you can't really, like, change our minds at this point. Okay, so we all knew that that creepy machine that Johnny had, like that, maybe not creepy, but it was like futuristic space machine. We kind of knew that that was going to come back. And it did, because Emily is for some reason listening to some of the messages it recorded, which all of them, I've listened to them a few times. They're creepy and they all probably have some double meaning. But first we hear this guy that I swear is Jason talking about how the pet dog didn't run away, but he let it out, which is just sinister. And then we hear that song again. So what is up with that? All right, and then the police or the investigators are looking over some of the evidence and they see that Boo Boo's ice cream screwdriver. If you remember, the girls were like trapped in that freezer in that like ice cream factory, so that is an allusion to that. What all does that mean? I don't know. If you have some theories about that or if you've done some research, please let me know down below. We got our A clip this week. That made me happy. It was creepy. We had Tippy the bird, which we know is important. Tippy the bird probably knows some info about A that A doesn't want the girls to know. That's why A has Tippy. And you see A like shredding the Varjak social security card. So every time I see an A clip, to me it just screams that it's a dude, but maybe they're trying to trick me. I don't know. All I know is I hope we get some massive clues in the finale. So this week's subscriber of the week goes to Lois, who is on the same page with me about Creepy Pastor Ted. I'm going to have to call him Creepy from now on, saying that, you know, he's shady and perhaps he has a hidden past and maybe he knows all the town gossip because he's the pastor and he hears that kind of stuff. And, you know, A was passing out those Bibles, so maybe he was the one who was doing that. If you didn't know, I have a live show on my channel and on Instacator every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. It is so much fun, and I can chat with you live and answer your questions in real time. So please be sure to join me next week. I'll have those links down below. If you want to be my subscriber of the week, all you have to do is leave a comment. It's like pretty simple. Give me your theory or comment on something I've said in the video, and I'll pick my favorite one of the week and feature you next week. So, can you guys believe it's almost time for the finale? Like, I am freaking out. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Kelly TV, and I will see you next time.